Welcome to the Soulful Parenting Podcast, hosted by Ambra Redrick.
Welcome to season 2 of the Soulful Podcast. My name is Ambra, and when I am not serving as the CEO at Teen Hype, I get the wonderful opportunity to talk to extraordinary parents, and today is no exception. I'm talking to a daddy bear today. So, introduce yourself.
Well, first and foremost, my grandmother always said, make sure you say your real name first. So I go by the name of Kim
Come on, Grandma.
Dallin, but I'm very known in the streets and in the entertainment world as Deezy.
Okay.
Some people even call me Kato, but you can call me whatever you want.
Well, welcome. Thank you for spending time with
Thank
us
you for having me.
today
Thank you for having me.
and talking about what it's like to be a dad and a parent.
Yes, and I could definitely talk about that.
Okay, so let's start off with tell me about your family. Tell me about these babies.
I have 5 children.
Okay.
I just recently found out that I have another son or whatever. So that's, this is the perfect timing for this too, because when you have a situation like this, a lot of times you look for an avenue to speak on it, to, let out, your opinions and your feelings and things like that. So I'm glad to be here and talking about this right now. But so to start off, I have I have 3 boys and 2 girls now.
Okay.
So my daughter, Vashani, she's my oldest child. She is 26 years old. She'll be 27 in a few more weeks.
Okay.
My oldest son is Kenneth. He's a third. I'm a junior.
Okay.
He is 19 years old. He graduated from high school last year.
Okay.
Then it's my other son, King. He just graduated
Okay.
high school, like literally a week ago. Then I have my baby girl, Lyric. She's going to the 8th grade. She's 13 years old right now. So, yeah. Then my new son,
Okay.
my new son as well. His name is Caleb, and he's 19
And he's
as
19.
well too. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's 19 as well.
So, what kind of daddy are you?
Well, I'm a work in progress.
Okay.
I'm a work in progress. I love for a lot of people, they give me these high accolades and stuff like that sometimes, but really me, I'm just still working. I lost my dad when I was 9, so I never really had anyone to teach me how to be a father or even to just show me how to be a good dad. So I've been winging it and going.
So you said you were raised by your grandma.
Yes.
What was that like?
My grandmother's she's a serious church lady.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So living in my grandmother's house, my grandmother had one rule that if you stayed in her house, you could do your thing, do, whatever. But when it's come time to go to church, you got to be
Okay.
at church.
Okay.
So I grew up, in the streets, but I also had the balance of having church in my life growing up as well. So
How did that translate into you being a father?
for some reason, ever since I was like 15 years old, I had always had a vision that I was going to have 4 kids.
Really?
I
Okay.
always had a vision I was going to have 4 kids. I thought I always said I would have 2 boys and 2 girls. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So everything had panned out that way until recently. I found out that I had another son. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Are you? If your children were here, what kind of dad would they say? Would they say that you're strict? Are you?
Well, they know that I'm 0 tolerance, no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So because me, even myself, like, people, when they see you be this rapper and things like that, they think of you in a certain way. But when it comes down to my kids and school work, you know what I mean? Even myself, I was always a very smart kid.
Okay.
Growing up. And I just was a class clown. But for the most part, my grades and stuff like that, I was always a very good kid. But my kids, they are too. So
Okay.
I'm proud of the boys I have and my daughters too, you know what I mean? So
Do you parent your daughters differently than your sons?
Of course.
Okay, how?
Well, with my boys, I'm a little bit more lenient, I would say,
Okay.
when it comes to certain things. As a father, you always want to protect your girls. So I had to teach them a little bit different, you know what I mean? Because my main thing as well is I teach, the way that I teach my children is so that when they do get to the place that they're at now,
Mhm.
I can sleep well knowing that what I instilled in them. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So um I really just I'm all the way across the board the same way, really.
okay.
But if I had to detail it, I would definitely say I'm probably a little bit more harder on my girls than I am my boys.
Now, do your older children say things like, "Ooh, when you was taking care of us, you did not let us get away with that"? Like, does lyric slide? Because you
Yeah,
sometimes
she does. She slides a lot, to be honest with you. Yeah, she slides a lot. Having, and then even with my situation with my daughter Lyric, I was kind of like in a place where I was really like almost done with having kids. You know what I mean? After I had them three, I was like, I don't want to have no more kids. But uh, man, I don't know what I would do without her. You know what I
Mm,
mean? She's like my little boss lady. She's the one. She's the choreographer.
wow.
She's the planner. She does it all. So
Mm,
I'm very happy that I had her. You know what I mean?
that's what's up. Tell me about your decision to parent them, to be a single parent, and what that was like.
I mean, what I would, being a single parent wasn't the plan.
Mhm,
You know what I mean? But one thing I can say is I was always firm with um co-parenting.
mhm,
Like even now in my situation, when we spoke before, I was telling you that I'm not in the situation far as like, some people have their children because, mom is maybe in jail or, on drugs, or maybe she's just, you know what I mean, going out. That's not the situation for me.
yeah,
My children's mothers, they are all beautiful, smart, intelligent women that take care of business. So even in my situation, it's more so of a choice and not of I
yeah.
have to. You know what I mean?
I thought
So,
that was really a profound statement to say when yesterday when we talked, that
hmm
that choice, I think, is a beautiful thing both ways. Like, I think it's beautiful for a dad to make that decision, and then I also think it's beautiful for a young person to see that they were chosen, that
yeah,
it wasn't a situation where they got dropped off on the porch.
yeah. No, for me, again, losing when you lose your dad, I lost my dad at 9 years old. So I believe somewhere down the line, losing my dad caused me to want to be the best father that I could be because I didn't have mine.
Mm,
So, one thing I understood along the way was just understanding that even if the mother and I aren't going to be together,
mhm,
we have to figure out a way to put emotions and feelings aside and be able to collectively come together and be able to raise a well-balanced child.
yeah,
So, for me, I made it my business at one point where I was like, yo, I really want to get my kids and I make the sacrifice. Because a lot of times you see the mom always making the sacrifice.
mm,
And, for myself, I was just like, I want to be able to do something different. So I even getting my daughter, it was a process.
okay,
It was a process. Like I told you yesterday, you, a mom being able to let her daughter go to a single father is a very big deal.
yeah,
A lot of times, sometimes the moms, the sons, if the father wants them or whatever, the mom will let the son go. But with the daughter, it's a little bit more. So to be able to even have my daughter now, I really take my hat off to her mom.
mm, that's what's up.
Yep.
This season, we are talking about being a champion,
hmm
and I'm curious about who is your first champion.
God,
Mm, say more.
God is my first champion. And the reason why is because throughout my life, and again losing my father at a young age, I found myself always putting my trust in people.
Mm,
And every time I put my trust in people, I was always let down. And then once I discovered who God was, I was able to, really understand how he works.
Mm.
So once I had that understanding, it was like, that's where I put my faith at. So when you ask me who is my champion, I believe your champion is the person who you put the most faith in.
Mm.
And my faith is in God first, definitely.
Okay. Tell me about how you have shown up as a champion for your babies.
Um, with the line of work that I'm in, number one, the line of work I'm in, it causes for me to usually be gone a lot.
Mm.
I'm always moving, always working, always doing something, traveling here, doing different things. But um I kind of I made the sacrifice to push back on some of my career things
Mm.
to be
Mhm.
a father, you know?
Do they know that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they know that. We had those conversations a lot. One thing about my children too is we have those tough conversations and those real conversations, Like sometimes a lot of parents shy away from certain conversations with their
Mhm.
kids. Whereas for me, I'm more of a, hey, everybody come in, let's have a meeting, let's sit down and talk type of thing. You know what I mean? So,
Tell me a story about that. Give me an example of that.
well, okay. So first and foremost, like I said, I have my two youngest children. They live with me.
Okay.
So, certain jobs that may usually be on the floor, I have turned certain things down as far as like touring.
Okay.
Like, it's been opportunities for me to tour, and I turned down the touring because it's like, how can I really dedicate myself to doing both?
Mm.
You know, just a lot of things too. Like even now, like my kids are getting at that age now where they're getting older, so they able to come and work with me.
Mm.
Like for instance, the other day,
Mhm.
I just did a thing with Mary Sheffield.
Okay.
Um, it's called Occupy the Corner. And I've been doing that in the community with her for some years now. And, sometimes in the past, I used to be very sketchy about bringing my children around when I'm working. But, now that they're getting older, it's fun. I get to take them to work with me. So my daughter Lyric and her best friend, they actually went to work with me the other day. So that was a great thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So,
What do they think of you as an artist?
well, again, even like that part, right? Like my daughter Lyric, she's my youngest, right?
Mhm.
And even for her, she know who I am, but like even when she went to this event with me the other day when we left, she was kind of like, "Oh, Dad, I didn't know you were that cool." You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's been a I'm really like protective about them.
Mm.
So even in certain, like I say, going out and doing shows and taking your children with you and stuff like that, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take the chance now again that they're older, but when they were younger, I kind of separated.
Okay.
So it was like, hey, Dad is over here working,
Mhm.
family is here, and you know what I mean. I got this going on over here.
Has she listened to your work?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Does
yeah,
she critique you?
yes, definitely, definitely. And then even me, I'm the type like I'm not a one track artist.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I make all kind of different music. So,
Okay.
you know, I have songs that I haven't let her hear,
Okay.
but I also have a lot of songs that she has heard and she love them.
Okay.
Hmm.
What rules have you created around dating and relationships
For them or myself.
for them?
Well, I would have to say number one is don't bring everybody around family.
Mm.
Like even me, my daughter is about to be 27 years old, but I didn't meet her first person she was in a relationship to maybe she was probably about 20 or 21.
Okay.
So my daughter had never brought a guy around me until she got 2021. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I think that's very important.
Mm.
So that I would say that would be one of my number one things, which is make sure that when you do bring people around to meet your family and stuff like that, it is someone that you see yourself being serious with
Mm.
or getting into, a relationship where you like this could be it for me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Um, how old will Lyric have to be before she can date?
Well, honestly, even though I'm a tough dad, I'm not that tough
Okay.
like that. Like, when she's about 17, 16, you know what I mean? Just depends on the guy as well too.
All right.
Yep.
So earlier you mentioned that you could cook.
Yes.
What do they enjoy from you most?
Well, my kids love all my cooking. So
Do they
yeah.
make special requests?
Well, my youngest son King, he does. My youngest son King, he's like the foodie.
Oh.
So me and him, like even us, like a lot of times we have discussions about food a lot. Yeah, that's like me and his thing.
Okay. Does he help you cook? Can he cook, or he just wants to
Well,
eat?
nah, he just want to eat. But my youngest son King and I, we do have like nicknames for certain meals. You know what I mean? So like, if he say a certain nickname, I know what he means, what he want to eat when he say
That's cute. Okay.
it.
What have you learned about yourself as a father?
You must got 3 hours for this show, because I'm telling you. Like I said, man, I'm a work in progress. I'm not one of those people that be like, you get some guys who like, I'm a great dad. I think I'm the best dad and this and that. But I'm not one of those people. I always continue to work on myself.
Okay.
Even when I think I've been doing a good job, I still tell myself I could do better.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just be a work in progress, probably till it's over with. Cause you know what?
What?
I just thought about something too that's very important that I've been saying for the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, a lot of times with your children, you believe that when they get to be 18 years old and they graduate from school, in your mind, usually you tend to think like, yeah, they grown now. I ain't about to have to do this and that.
Not me.
Well, one thing that I have found out for sure is that it's not that the parenting goes away, it's
Mhm.
that the parenting transitions.
Yeah.
So you go to a new level of parenting. It's not like oh, you graduated now, you out of here. And it's not that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Do your children want children?
huh?
Do your children want children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Like yesterday for Father's Day, we went to my father's grave and we discussed some things while we were there.
Oh.
And one thing that we discussed yesterday was talking about legacy and
Mm.
keeping it going and a family growing and building together and stuff like that. So yeah, they definitely want children. I don't think none of them in a rush,
Okay.
but they definitely want children.
Okay. Yeah, it's another transition.
Mhm.
Grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm lucky too, 'cause I have several friends who are in my age group who
Mhm.
they are grandfathers now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I haven't become a grandfather yet, but
Okay. Um, I hear lots of, I don't know if you would call it a ritual, but I hear lots of rituals and practices
mhm,
that you have in your family that seem really intentional, like taking them to the cemetery to see your dad, or
mhm,
or nicknames for food.
mhm.
Um, what kind of other rituals and practices do you have that
Well, definitely prayer.
prayer?
Prayer is definitely strong. We actually prayed together yesterday outside of my father's grave. Um, Again, the way that I grew up very balanced. You know, I believe that I believe that my mother and my grandmother. I think that after my father passed, they both understood the assignment.
Mm,
My mom, I definitely know that she understood the assignment because of how my life changed after my father passed. Before my mother was a very overprotective woman
mhm,
about me.
mhm,
And after my father died, I believe my mother understood that, hey, without him having his dad, I got to let go of my grip a little bit.
mm,
So she began to allow me to, my uncles, my father's brothers, they all stepped up. Then I had certain men in the church who I looked up to and who I respected. So, I kind of got pieces
mm.
from everybody along the way coming up. But my mom, you know, my mom is a very, very strong woman,
Mm.
like very strong. Like it's like from the time my father passed away, like literally, I seen that my mom, she strapped her big girl boots on, you know what I mean, after my father passed away. So I always, even though I am a grandma's boy, like I told you, I make sure that I always still give my mom her props because doing it by yourself is not easy.
No, no.
Not easy at all. And to understand the assignment, because you got some women who they what's the word I'm looking for? They with their boys especially,
Mm.
they tend to coddle them
Yeah.
a lot,
Yeah.
And my mom, she was the opposite.
Mm.
My mom was like, "Hey, you're gonna go over here and spend some time with him and go do that." You know what I mean? So I had a little bit of everything.
Mm.
I had a little bit of everything, even the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had an uncle who was in the streets, and I spent time with him, and he taught me the streets and taught me survival as
Mm.
well. So,
You probably don't see yourself as this, but you sound so much like a role model. Do you feel your friends, do they learn from you? Other fathers?
oh yeah, definitely, definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And I am the friend on my crew who like everybody calls me for their advice, and or if they want to vent, they be like, "I'm gonna call Deezy." You know what I mean? So,
Okay.
you know,
What are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of being a dad.
Mhm.
I think I'm most proud of being a dad again. Losing your pops at such a young age, and I was so close to my dad too. That was a hard thing that really stuck with me, you know what I mean? So, again, I channeled that energy into me being a father, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? So, if you asked me what I was most proud of, it would probably be being a dad.
Right.
Mhm.
Ready for some lightning questions?
Sure, come on with it, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Best parenting advice that you have been given?
Ooh, good one. So I got a situation right now that I'm dealing with. My youngest son, King, he was um very good. My son's been playing football ever since he was 5 years old.
Okay.
And ever since he was 5 years old, he's been good at, you know, playing football. Like he was really good. And when it came time for him to go to high school,
Mhm.
I was in a tough situation. I was in a tough situation because I had so many coaches and people that I know that was asking me to get my son.
Mm.
And it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make because I understood that my son was so used to his friends and the people he grew up with, playing football with them and his same teammates and stuff like that. So I was in a tough spot because it was like, do I say be a dad and I make the best decision for him,
Mhm.
even if he doesn't like it?
Mm.
Or do I go along with keeping him comfortable and happy at what he was doing?
Okay.
Which was, I put it to you like this. So my son, he attended Melvindale High School,
Okay.
in which my oldest daughter attended to, and she graduated from Melvindale High School.
Mhm.
Um, he had opportunity to go to some schools where, a lot of the athletes were getting full
Mm.
ride scholarship.
Mhm.
And one of them was Belleville.
Okay.
So he had the opportunity to go to Belleville, and I wanted him to go. And even as a dad at that time, I knew that was the best thing for him to do.
Mhm.
I was like, man, he need to go to Belleville.
Okay.
I had people asking me to get him, to take him, but I ended up making the decision to keep him happy and comfortable.
Mm.
And I left him at Melvindale.
Mhm.
And I think now that he's graduated and we got down to that end, I think that even him, I think that he regretted it as well. So that was one of those real tough lessons for me as a dad because it's like you don't understand when to make the decision of,
Mm.
do I make the decision for what I know is right and what's best for you, or do I make the decision of keeping you happy and keeping you comfortable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a tough one.
So that right there alone is because I've had some days where I've been kicking myself about that.
Mm,
Because especially like now, like, he thought that things would turn out a different way for him,
yeah,
when it came down to it. But I just feel that it was the schools that he
yeah.
was at. I think if he'd have been the same player he was at Melvindale, at Belleville, he'd be going off to college right now.
Mm, yeah,
So I just say that to say that to all the new dads and people who coming up, those are some of the toughest decisions to make when the decision that you should make for your child as best. And sometimes they're not gonna understand it in the beginning,
for sure.
but you still gotta make that tough decision.
Yeah, yeah. Something your children have taught you.
Love don't cost a thing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Love don't cost a thing. I grew up living fast.
Mm,
And around the people that I grew up with and things like that, I always had this thing in my head that, we always gotta do it the biggest.
mm,
And I say that because it was times where I could have did things, but because I couldn't do it this big, I didn't want to do it. And what I realized is all those moments, they come back to bite you too.
mm,
It's so many things that I could have did and I should have did. And I even had the money to do it. But just because I couldn't do it like this, I didn't do it. And my children, as the years grown by and I watch my children grow, I realized that they don't care about all that stuff that I care about.
mm.
Well, that I cared about. I
Yeah,
don't care like that anymore, but you know how it is. You come up and you think, it's
yeah.
gotta be like this. And you know what I mean? But what you don't realize is when you like that, you lose the moment a lot of times.
Mm,
You lose the moment.
yeah.
And one thing about, with these kids, they grow up so fast that you literally have to cherish every moment, every piece of the process. You gotta cherish it. You gotta take it in. Because just like now, my youngest son, King, he stayed up under me his whole life. And now that he's gotten, he's out of school, I can't get him to sit down. I can't get him to sit down for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I tell people all the time, man, make sure you cherish those moments because, once they get older, you gotta let go. And
Yeah,
when you gotta let go, it's not easy.
yeah. A movie that every kid should see.
A movie that every kid should see. That's a difficult one. Because that's difficult because every kid is not subject to the same thing.
Mhm.
So if I had to just go off the top though, I would say either The Godfather or The Color Purple.
All right.
Those are two movies I think every kid should watch. And I know The Godfather sounds crazy for me to say that.
Nope.
Okay, you
I
understand.
had a mom that said Godfather.
Okay, no, because listen, The Godfather teaches you so many life situations. I have applied The Godfather to my life in so many different ways.
Mm,
And even now, even though I watched that movie like 2,369,000 times, every time I watch it, I learn something new again.
mm.
It's like the lessons never stop with that movie.
Have you watched it with your children?
With my sons, I
With
have.
your
Yeah,
sons? Okay.
yeah, yeah. I watched it with my sons. My sons, they both they're kind of like me when it comes to because I look at TV differently than regular people.
Okay.
I watch movies differently than regular people. I'm like a mad scientist in my head. So
Okay, you taking it apart.
yeah, I'm gonna dissect everything. I'm gonna be able after I watch the movie twice, I can tell you who was the weak links, who was the best, who really, did their thing, all of that. So
Okay.
even down to the writing, directing. I can even
Mhm.
tell when a director is not great.
Mm.
So
Now you're gonna make me watch a movie differently because now I'm be
yeah,
processing.
you got, especially when you in film, when you're into film and you do film, you got to study because you want to be able to watch the ones that did it before you. And sometimes I be able to take certain things. Like it's times I've seen camera views and things like that, and I go, "Oh, that is amazing that he did that." And then I might take that same thing he did and put my twist on it. So
I know what you're gonna say when I say this, but
What?
Imma push back. What makes you an amazing dad?
My sacrifices.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of dudes who would have been in my position and have made the sacrifices that I have. I chose family over fame.
Mm,
So, you know, like even now to this day, I still got people that they look at me and go, yo, they don't really understand. Because, even though I am blessed and God's been great in my life, I think that I should be further,
mhm.
and I know that I'm not further because I chose to make those sacrifices. So,
Alright, one last thing.
come on with it.
Alright, leave a love note to these babies. So if they was watching this podcast, what would you want them to know?
To mine
Mhm.
or all children?
No, your
To
children.
my children?
Yes.
Um, One of the main things that I tell them all the time is my main thing that I tell them is number one is it's a time to cut it on and it's a time to cut it off. Um, and what I mean by that, they know what I mean by it, but for the people that's watching, what I mean by that is, and it's not just for kids, it's for adults too, I think that everybody needs to know when it's a time to cut it on and it's a time to cut it off. It's
I'm
a
getting ready to go
time.
across the hall at Teen Hype and tell them that.
Yeah, it's a time for us to have fun and play games and laugh and joke, and it's a time for us to get serious. It's a
Okay.
time for us to get focused. It's a time for us to get dedicated. You know what I mean? So, with my children, I'm not even when it comes to like career goals, a lot of times, especially fathers, they try to push their children to do what they did or what
Mhm.
they do. I'm not that way. So I'm more so I just try to feel them out, see what they love to do, and support what they want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so, just overall, I just want to let my children know that I love them. I love them. A lot of people say, I love you to death. Well, my children, I'm going to love them past death.
Uh,
And I'm setting up things in their life so that they know that when I do leave this earth, that they're going to know that my father loved me. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So, um, yeah, man, I'm kind of like off of me. I'm more so because I'm a person that really think about the future a lot.
Mm,
So it's like even myself, like I do what I have to do to pay the bills and take care of my family and stuff like that. But really, I'm off of me. My plans, the things I'm planning and working on now is for them and their children and their children's children. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's not about me no more. It's about them.
that's
So
what's up.
yeah,
That's really, really what's up. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
appreciate
you
you.
for
Thank you for having me.
sharing time with us, and for being such a beautiful example of fatherhood.
Yes, and listen. To the fathers that may be watching this, it's very important that we all understand how important co-parenting is.
Mm,
Just because you and the mother may not be together, because we see that a lot, and a lot of people, it's just like when the mother and the father don't work out. You got some people who really like give up and just be like, man, it's whatever. But I believe that two people, even if they're not together, they should be able to raise a well-balanced child.
yeah.
We gotta get out of your personal feelings and your personal emotions and understand that, having that child in the first place is a sacrifice
Mhm.
from Jump Street. So, once all is said and done, you gotta just make sure that you understand the sacrifice that you made. You gotta put that other stuff to the side.
Yeah.
That's how I've been able to successfully do this thing because I have more than one child mother too. You know what I mean? So um, just learning that gotta take yourself out the equation. You
Mm,
gotta take yourself out of the equation. You gotta understand that it's so many days and times where I be upset or I feel like, no, I'm the boss or you know what I mean, stuff like that. And I take a second and I think and I try to take myself out of my body, place myself in my child's body, even the mom's body sometimes,
sure.
just to get a different point of view and a different understanding. And a lot of times when you do that, like even now, I don't have that. Like I see people who have one child and they like got so much baby mama drama and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I haven't really had none of that. You know, I had issues
Mhm.
here and there, but nothing's never really just got out of hand or publicly, like, nothing like that. And I believe that I play a big part in that, you know what I mean? Just understanding that, when to cut it on and when to cut it off, you know what I'm saying?